Hey, everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by SoundWeb Studios. Visit online at soundwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. SoundWeb Studios is the answer. SoundWeb Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@soundwebstudios.com. Mention Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. SoundWeb Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is illusion and those you love will be the first to go missing. It's available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson-Zia has garnered great reviews and even love and endorsed by Howard celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes, Riley, and Nails. So grab your copy today for Girls Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon. Also, check out the Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com on over 40 podcast platforms in over 100 countries, including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Audible, and Apple Music. Also on HamiltonRadio.net, Diamonds FM, Oldies Radio, and a few other networks coming soon near you. Take the Mike Wagner Show on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. And for great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com and check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. T-shirts, pop sockets, throw pillows, tote bags, hoodies, baseball gear. Makes great gifts 24/7. Go to Amazon.com and check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia for great books like Missing, Once, and Wrinkles. Also T-shirts, pop sockets, throw pillows, hoodies, and a lot more. And phone cases, Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia. Check it out today. Let's support the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, themikewagnershow.com. You can buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com at the Mike Wagner Show. Make sure you do so today. We're here with a terrific gentleman who became an actor at 64 and credited in numerous productions over the last 2 years. Also began after missing the opportunity to be in Transformers: The Age of Extinction when he was out of the state for an unscheduled shoot. He appeared in Chicago Fire, Chicago Med, PD, Justice, Empire, and Amazon's Patriot. He also grew up in Chicago, owns indie productions, as you can tell, and he has his own Roku channel, and he's going to share some amazing stories that, yes, you can begin something at 64. Live, ladies and gentlemen, from the Plus Studios, from beautiful outside Chicago, and he's Mr. Hollywood, and he's got the moon, ladies and gentlemen, the owner of Indie Productions, and the amazing actor, Dan Kairis. Dan, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Well, I need you to get in touch with an agent who would be willing to believe everything that you just said.
Well, you can be my first, I can tell you that. So add that to your list.
that'll work for me.
There you go. So you began your career at 64 and you're credited in numerous productions over the last 2 years. You've been in commercials, and you got into this after missing your chance to be in Transformers: Age of Extinction when you're out of state for an unscheduled shoot. You appeared in Chicago Fire, Chicago Med, PD, Justice, Empire, and also Amazon's Patriot. You grew up in Chicago and you owned Indie Productions, and you have your own Roku channel, and you've got some amazing stories to tell. And you know what we got to share. And before we find out about that, Dan, tell us how I first got started.
Oh, well, let me correct one little thing for you. It's not my Indie Productions channel. There are a number of us who started it for various reasons. So we actually have a team of people who are putting their knowledge and talents together for the channel.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm glad you clarified that. So that's Indie Productions for the Roku channel. And, you know, tell us how I first got started. And I love hearing about your amazing story.
All right. The whole Hollywood, we have to start with that. As you said, I missed out on a chance to be an FBI agent in the Transformers movie. The only reason I was doing that is being 64 at the time. I'm thinking neither of my boys is married, no talk about grandkids. So I'm thinking I could be on the other side of the dirt before any of that happened. So I just happened to see this open casting call for the Transformers movie, looked at it, and thought, hey, this would be cool. I mean, my kids grew up with Transformers. Both the boys had all,
Oh
we
my
had all,
gosh,
I think
yeah,
all of
that was
them.
a heck of a movie. It's like, blow-ups and everything. I mean, you got to thank Michael Bay for all that. So
That's right. Well, about 8 minutes into the movie, and like you said, I missed out because they had an unscheduled shoot, and I was out of state at the time, and I just driven 13 hours to get down to Arkansas.
wow.
And I get this call on a Sunday afternoon, and this lady says, can you be in Chicago on Wednesday for an unscheduled shoot? I'm going, I just drove 13 miles, but to be in a major motion picture, it took me all about 2 nanoseconds to say, oh yeah, we need you here this afternoon for a fitting. I had no way of figuring out how to respond to that other than, I can't do that. We'll go on to the next guy. Well, if you look about 8 or 9 minutes into the movie, you see a whole table of FBI agents sitting in this conference room. And I keep going, I could have been him or him or him or him. So fortunately, while I was waiting in line with the other 3,000 or 4,000 people, I heard somebody talk about Tailsticks castings, which led me to a couple episodes in Chicago Fire and Chicago PD. Well, I'm a big softball player, and I'm on 4 senior teams this year. But in '64, I was talking to John, our second baseman. We were in Las Vegas at the time for the World Championship. And I was telling John about being an extra. He goes, oh, that's really cool. I says, yeah, it's kind of fun, that kind of thing. And I make a game-saving catch in, I think it was a semi-championship game. I get back to the dugout, and he goes, that's a real Hollywood catch, Mr. Hollywood. And it's an actual true story. We actually made a short about it.
Oh
so
my
that's
gosh.
that's how the Mr. Hollywood came along. And since then, I did the extra stuff for about 3 seasons. And I talked with another extra. I says, I want a speaking part. I want to be a doorman. Welcome to the Ritz. He says, well, you need an acting reel. I go, what's an acting reel? Well, it's parts of play things that you've done before, that you've had speaking parts for. I go, wait a minute. How do you make an acting reel if you need speaking parts, but you can't get a speaking part until you have an acting reel? So he just mentioned student films and indie productions. And I went from a couple lines in my first student film to starring in a couple others and a couple indie productions. I go, this is so much fun that I'm going to continue it on. Well, that led me to knowing a number of extras. And I thought maybe other people would like to have some speaking lines. So I actually produced a couple of shorts that were nothing more, storylines were not that good, and the production quality, it wasn't all that. I mean, it was the first time I ever tried it. But each of them got speaking lines for their, dialogue for their acting reels. And then I decided, well, hey, let's take this another step further. Let's actually start producing things that have stories. And that led to my first production of Dolly's House, which is a younger couple buy a house sight unseen, one of these, estate auction type things. They don't know what's in it. Turns out the ladies who owned the house when she passed away, she had a 3-year-old daughter who died, and she had this whole shrine of all these different mementos and whatever. And lo and behold, she goes into getting into voodoo so that she can talk to her daughter. And lo and behold, the doll takes over the house. So when the wife of the purchaser, wants to remove the doll's not happy with that. So I had 3 actors, Steve, Polly, and Renee, and their chemistry I thought was absolutely fantastic. I just sat back and watched them. I didn't direct them at all. I just let them go. And I did the usual thing with YouTube. And after about 6 months, we had 150 views. And I thought they deserved more exposure than that. So I saw this ad about start your own Roku channel. I go, wait a minute, TV, get them on TV. And then talking with a couple people, how do you, as an independent producer, provide enough content for a channel that's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year? You can't. Which led me to getting in touch with, like I said, a few of my friends who are producing things, and we combine things. And I think we've got 51 shorts, films, and music videos, whatever, getting ready to go on the channel, which we're hoping to get all finalized by tomorrow, which of course, that'll be in the past already by the time somebody sees the show. So hopefully it'll be all ready. So anybody that has a Roku channel, all they have to do is type in a search for indie productions. And if they see that moon, that's our channel.
That's certainly amazing as well, too. And what was that one precise moment that simply influenced you into what you're doing for the rest of your career?
It wasn't an individual thing so much as a compilation of a number of them. Like I said, being an extra. I mean, some of that was just fun. Some of it wasn't so much fun when you're out in the 90-degree weather and you're out there for, 4 or 5 hours at a time. Some of it's a little questionable. But doing the first film, actually being in front of the camera, because if somebody would have told me, let's see, 64, so yeah, 10 years ago, if somebody would have told me I would have been in front of the camera, I would have told them they're nuts. I've never been in a student play, have had no interest in being in front of the camera. I had my own video company for about 20 years, but it was almost exclusively consumer repair, repairing consumer devices. And I did a little bit of, I guess you could call it production work, shooting some business seminars and, parties and that kind of thing. And that kind of led me to it. But being in front of the camera, no, would not have ever in my wildest imagination come up with that. I darn near flunked a college course that was pre-theater, whatever it was. It was called speech class. And you had to give this one speech in front of the class. And I made it through about the first 7 or 8 words or whatever it was. I just sat down. So,
oh my gosh.
So you're talking from, anybody, if they have the desire to do it, can be somewhat successful. Is everybody going to be the next Harrison Ford or Julia Roberts or Tom Hanks? Obviously not. But there are so many character positions that you can play and different things that you can get into that, and again, I was scared half to death the first time I did it. Somebody who's been in plays and that type of thing are way ahead of what I started out as.
Mm-hmm.
So
okay.
that's my little word of wisdom for an old guy.
Mm-hmm. And what prompted get you into acting in the first place?
Again, it was just, I wanted to be immortalized on celluloid so that if and when my grandkids ever came, my 2 sons could go, look, there's Grandpa. And that was it.
I see. It's almost like a little bit of a nationwide photography, memorabilia, whatever it is, scrapbook. It's like, hey, there's Grandpa. That's right. I think we should encourage all the grandmas and grandpas to do that. Get on film. I like that.
Well, sure. Well, part of it, like I said, being in video for however many years, some of the things that I did was duplicate some people's memoirs or 8mm film. I used to convert some of that and those type of things onto DVDs at the time. And I guess maybe that in the background kind of helped lead that. Hey, how are my grandkids ever going to know me if I'm gone before they come? So,
okay,
that was the impetus for it.
Well, that's really interesting too. We'll talk about more of the experience with Dan Kairis as well too. But first, listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by SonicWeb Studios. Visit online at SonicWebStudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia. Available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is illusion and those you love will be the first go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson-Zia has garnered great reviews, and Eve 11 enjoys by Howard celebrities, including Joanna Cassie, Forbes Riley, and Manils. So grab your copy today for Goes Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon. Also, check out the Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com on over 40 podcast platforms, heard in over 100 countries. Also on hamiltonradio.net, Oldies FM, Diamonds Radio, and more. Take the Mike Wagner Show on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Don't forget to follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. And for great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com and check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia. Check out his great books, merchandise, and more. Also support the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, themikewagnershow.com. You can buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com with the Mike Wagner Show. Make sure you do so today. We're here with the amazing actor who began his career at 64 and credited in numerous productions, Dan Kairis, here on the Mike Wagner Show. And what are some of your favorite actors and actresses and some of your favorite movies you enjoyed watching growing up?
Growing up, I was, into TV, single mother, family. We didn't have time or money to go to the theater. I can't remember ever going to the movies. But TV shows, of course, was Flash Gordon.
Oh yeah, The Flash, yes.
and when you look back at, when you were a kid, you're just amazed at the Mudmen and, all of the special effects. And when you look back at it now, I go, wow, that stuff was pretty campy.
It was new technology back then. Now you look at it, it's just like it made me think of the days of the claymation as well too, like with all the old cartoons, some was it Gumby, and they also had the old Rankin Bass Christmas cartoons, and the claymation, it was back then, it was like cutting edge, but nowadays you think it's so campy, but it was really cool in how they did it back then. Some people still use it in a sense. So,
oh sure.
And they're taking that 60s, 50s, 60s technology and using it today. That's the whole thing. So
well, it is interesting how some things are now, I think it's noir. I can't ever pronounce that. Noir. You're going
it's like noir, like film noir. Yes.
Yeah, thank you. I always had problems with that word. But everything seems to, just like vinyl records now, are making a big comeback.
Oh yeah, I miss vinyl. I miss vinyl so much. I miss the record stores in Chicago. Like was it Flipside? Then he had I think was it JR's and everything's like Tower Records. Those like the big vinyl stores in Chicago. I used to go through them as a kid. It's like I miss vinyl so much, and I was so overjoyed. My daughter got me that Queen album, A Day at the Races, and what was it? Have Bohemian Rhapsody. It's just like vinyl. It's just like it's so precious to me. I still have my old vinyl from like God knows how long.
Well, it is interesting how we have things that work for a few years, and then somebody comes up with a new technology. When I started my video business some years ago, fixing VCRs and doing things for consumers, Star Wars came out on VHS.
Oh yes.
And to buy Star Wars back then, I think it was like $130
for the tape. VHS yes copy. Wow.
And even blank tapes back then were $15. Well, everything seems to come in waves, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And of course, remember the Blockbusters as well too. You had a Blockbuster on every block, literally. And now you got one that's in Bend, Oregon, that in a sense still rents movies, but in a sense it's kind of like a museum.
Pretty much. We used to have, like I said, I did consumer repair. I actually, at my high point had 6 different video stores that I provided repair service for all of their customers. So 6 turned to 4, turned to 3, turned to 2, turned to Blockbuster, and they didn't want to deal with an independent person. They had their own stuff. So, and now I don't know if there are even 100 video stores open around the country anymore.
It's almost like they still have them on DVDs and everything else. And nowadays it's streaming. You'll be able to find some Redbox as well too. And you see a lot of video stores are blaming Redbox for shutting down the stores and everything else. That's almost like the lifeblood of the community. You employ people and brought some kids on the weekends, give them some experience, and you could also rent games and everything like that. It's like, I mean, the landscape has changed a great deal. I mean, what's coming up after streaming, nobody knows.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, I keep hearing this that DVDs are going by the wayside, and now somebody else is predicting within 5 to 10 years you're not going to have cable TV. So what are the Comcasts and the Xfinities and Dish Networks and whatever going to do?
I think that's kind of like a trend as well too, and getting back to movies as well too, that you managed to see some too. And every time I think of Chicago, I think about the movie The Blues Brothers. Had John Aykroyd, Dan Belushi.
Oh yeah,
and Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi. And of course, I've had a long day too, and many of the shots were filmed in Chicago, and including a few where my sisters live. And at Joliet Mall, that chase scene, it was just like that. Having Chicago Breakfast Club and old high school in Des Plaines. So yeah, a lot of stuff there.
Yeah. Well, going back, I guess I didn't tell you what my favorite movie is as an adult, though. I actually have 2. One is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I have to bring that out before Christmas every year. And before the softball season starts, it's Major League.
Oh my gosh, you just hit upon one of my favorite movies. I interviewed Willie Muller on there. Who is it, the Duke or something? Always came in and closed. The favorite part was always throwing a 90-mile fastball at his kid. It was just too funny, I'll tell you.
But no, like I said, I play those once a year, just maybe sometimes twice a year if it's raining out and I'm in between shoots or something.
Okay.
You learn so much once you start working from behind the camera. It's surprising how much you notice in movies that you never did before just watching movies. Start like, okay, how did they get that shot? Where's the camera? Where did they put the lights?
And of course the special effects as well too. And what are you looking to accomplish in your career? What's your main goal?
I guess my main goal now that we've started this Roku channel, I'm 72. I've got a lot of softball games to play yet, so we have to have our priorities straight, and softball is my number 1. I just enjoy that too much. I'm not giving that up until I can't walk anymore. But, I don't plan on making a career out of this. You don't start a career at 64, and somebody once told me, it says, well, why can't you be a Harrison Ford? Look how old he is. I says, yeah, but Harrison Ford has got 30 or 40 years of experience. I don't have 30 or 40 years to get that experience. I don't think I have to worry about being a Harrison Ford, but the biggest thrill I could have would be if one of my actors, Renee or Sandra or Mike or Robert or any of them, wound up being seen on our Roku channel, and somebody picked them up to do a recurring role in some national TV show or a major motion picture, or maybe one of our other directors or producers gets picked up by Disney or one of the other studios to be a director or producer for their films. That would be the best thing I could ask for.
And what are some other programs that you're currently offering on your Roku channel besides the ones you've mentioned? What else are you currently offering?
Oh gee, we've got horror, we've got drama, we've got thrillers, music videos, we've got somebody doing crime ones. We've got a relaxation channel, or a category rather, where you can watch the little flowers just waving in the breeze with some nice background music and hopefully take a nap.
Don't fall asleep on me, please, will you?
No, I won't. I'm not watching that channel.
I know I'm kidding, but how does one
Yeah.
how does one get a program on your Roku channel?
Well, what we've done in the past, and again, it was so many incremental things, but I reached out to a number of the other producers that I knew and said, hey, I've only got a half a dozen things here. I'd like to do this. It just sounds like a good idea. They were disappointed in that they only had 100 or 200 or 300 views of their material, their content on YouTube or wherever they were distributing them. And we just came together to put the channel together. Like I said, I think we've got 51 different unique productions, and what we want to do is continue to add more and more as we go along. So once the channel is up, we're hoping that it's going to be popular enough where people are going to come to us and say, hey, I'd like some of my stuff on your channel.
Mm-hmm. And how does one get their own Roku channel, or what do they do?
According to the ad, it is so simple. As long as you have $300 or $400 a month to put into it, they'll do what they need to do. If you try to do it on your own, hey, this is so simple. According to one of the storage places that has an agreement with Roku, yeah, it's kind of easy, but no, it's not. We've been working on this probably for 3 months, trying to get all the little nicks and crannies all filled in and all of the glitches out. So it's not as simple as they make it out to be, unless, like I said, you've got a lot of money to do it. And this is why we decided to combine forces, so to speak, having a number of us to start with. I think we've got 25 producers, if I remember right, of which we have 14 of those, I think 14, maybe 15, who are actually providing content, and the others are in the process of filming their material and going through the posts and all, and hopefully they'll be adding theirs, as we go by. And it's just trying to do one by yourself. I've seen a couple channels where one person had 5 or 6 minute shorts. And I went back a couple weeks after that, he still had the same 5 or 6 minute, 5 or 6 shorts. Well, you can't have a channel with, 18, 26, even an hour's worth of content, because once somebody's seen all your stuff, are they going to stick with the channel?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we put together a lot of producers together, so that I have my next story we're going to start shooting hopefully in July. That will not be done until probably August. But in the meantime, a couple of the others are already working on theirs. So hopefully in the next week or two, we're going to be adding more and more content.
Okay. All right. That makes perfect sense. A great opportunity out there who wanted to get on the Roku channel and more. And where can we find more information about indie productions in your channel, and how can people get to watch you?
Well, number one, they have to have a Roku device or a Roku enabled TV. And I guess according to somebody, there's like 50 million people that have Roku devices of one form or another. So they'd have to have a Roku device in order to get to the channel. Maybe if we have a break, I can put something on a piece of paper with our email. It's actually indieproductions21@yahoo.com.
And what's the email again?
Indie Productions, just like the title, 21@yahoo.com.
All right, we will certainly check that out and encourage everyone to email Dan as well too. What's coming up for Dan Kairis in 2022? We'll find out just 1 minute. You listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at SonicWebStudios.com for all your needs. Also brought to you by our official sponsor, the Mike Wagner Show, international war-ring author Mia Molson's of Missing, available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. We'll be back with actor and the co-owner of Indie Productions, Dan Kairis, after this time. We're back with the multi-talented actor and also part of Indie Productions, Dan Kairis, here on the Mike Wagner Show. And Dan, what can we expect from you in 2022 and beyond? You've got a great future ahead.
Well, we started a series called Intrigued, which are 22, 24-minute shorts. It's very similar to the Twilight Zones, where you have different stories, different sets of actors, and each of them had a twist ending. So that's what we're doing, like Dolly's House. I don't want to tell anybody how Dolly's House ends, because otherwise they may not watch it. We've got one, we're working on the post-production of that, called Bucket List. We find out that some things need to be done before it's too late. We have another one, which has to do with a golf ball. So yeah, we have a number of stories coming together. Like I said, the other producers also have other things in their pockets, so to speak, that are coming along down the line.
That's really interesting. We're certainly looking forward to it. And who do you consider biggest influence in a career?
The biggest influence in my career, more than likely, has been everyone that I've worked with. Like I said, I've worked with some fantastic actors and actresses. One of my first actresses, Sandra, is now doing a number of different things. Polly, who was in my last production, has been in 2 or 3 movies since then. She's doing other things. And all of them are branching out, doing, more things. And I'd like to think that in Sandra's case, I was the first one to give her a speaking part.
Nice.
So I want to take this much credit for pushing her along into going on. And the same can be said with Polly and Bob and so many of the others. And also, I guess a little bit of the influence too was working with a couple of the student filmmakers. Seeing them, it's kind of interesting when you are 70 years old and you're taking directions from somebody who is not old enough to drink yet. One of the things I did, and I thought, I used to teach on the side too. I've done a number of things over the last 70 years. But the first student film I was in, I told the director, I said, let me give this to you straight. I've got you by about 50 years, but you've got me by at least 2 years of experience. I've never done this before. So you just tell me what you want and I'll try to give it to you. And, I thought maybe that would help him out. It's going, okay, how do I talk to this guy? He could be my grandfather. And it's just like I said, it's just been such a joy working with so many different people. And, I've done a number of different things, and I haven't found too many people in the film industry that aren't just plain nice people.
Right. And they're hard to come by too. And of course, you're pretty much a gem as well. And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
Don't pay for something that you should be getting money from, other than acting lessons, that kind of thing. Obviously, you pay those teachers, whatever. But if somebody comes up to you and says, hey, I'm going to do this for you, you might want to kind of walk backwards just a little bit.
Exactly.
I guess the best advice goes along with when I used to teach. Used to have this old saying, and I don't know where it came from. You're given 2 ears and 1 mouth, and you should use them in that proportion. Because you can always learn a lot more by listening than you can by talking.
That certainly is a good point. I've heard that from somewhere. We should all apply that. Once again,
Well,
actor
maybe
Dan
I was on your
Kairis.
show before and we just don't remember.
What's that?
Maybe I was on your show before and neither one of us remember.
It's perfectly okay. I'm sure we'll look through it. So we'll do
Yeah.
that. We're here with actor and part of Indie Productions on the Roku channel, Dan Kairis, here on the Mike Wagner Show. Dan, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely fantastic. We're looking forward to having you again soon. Just keep us up to date. Keep in touch. Love to have you back. And once again, tell us about your upcoming projects. What's your website? How do people contact? Where can people check out your works and check out your Roku channel and more?
Like I said, the best way people can get in touch with us right now is, I have to do this right. I'm doing this backwards. Indie Productions 21 at yahoo.com.
Indieproductions at 21.com. We'll certainly check that out. Once again, Dan,
Indie Productions 21 at Yahoo.
You got it. Okay. All right, Dan, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely fantastic. Looking forward to having you again soon. Make sure you keep yourself up to date. Keep in touch. Love to have you back. We wish you all the best, and you've got a great future ahead of you, and best of luck on your Roku channel.
Well, Mike, when I wind up with one of these, I'll be more than happy to come let you know about it.